Hi everyone. I wanted to share with you a couple of quick tips to protect your tomatoes and peppers from the cold weather. Now, we are getting some really chilly weather here. You can see I'm all wintered up here. Camera guy, what do you think the temperature is today?
I think it's about 48 degrees.
Which is crazy for us here in California. I know a lot of you are getting much worse than that. But with temps in the 40s during the day, that means in the 30s at night. We could even get a frost. So what I've done here is, remember we just planted the salsa garden last week. We want to keep the tomatoes and peppers alive. So last night what I did is I just threw an old blanket. This is like an old thick moving blanket. You can use an old quilt. I put a couple of stakes here in the 100-gallon Smart Pots, threw it over the top, and then secured the edges with some bricks because we also had some really high winds. The only problem with this is it works well to keep them, kind of comfy under there. However, we're getting a ton of rain coming in over the next week. I think they're saying as much rain as we normally get in a year, we're going to get in the next 3 to 4 days. So this blanket will get way too weighted down with water. What I'm going to do is go ahead and take this off. So first thing you can use is an old blanket or a thick piece of like a 6mm plastic. We've got a whole video on how to cover a garden bed with a 6mm plastic. I'll put a link to that. But I'm going to go ahead and take this off for now. And we've got another really great protection here for our peppers and tomatoes that we're going to put on in just a moment. So we'll set this old quilt aside. And I did cover my plants here with some shade cloth. When I first planted them, just to kind of harden them off a little bit more and acclimate them a little more slowly to the outside. That's why the shade cloth is on. And you can see they actually look really, really good, considering we had nights in the 30s, high winds, ever since we planted them. But the next thing I'm going to put on that will really keep them nice and toasty warm are these water freeze protection sleeves. Now, you might have seen this in our recent video when Cliff was visiting. Cliff uses these in his Idaho garden to get his tomatoes and peppers out early. So how these work, it's pretty handy. I actually grabbed some red ones because I love red over on Amazon. I'll put a link in the video description. But it's got these little walls of waters in them, and you fill them up, put them over a 5-gallon bucket, fill them up. In colder areas, the water will actually freeze, which provides a nice little insulation for the plants that are inside. Let me go ahead and fill this one up just a little bit more, and then we're going to put these beauties over our tomatoes and peppers to keep them nice and warm. Now, the water freeze protection that I got actually came in a 4-pack, and so they're really easily shippable. This is what they look like, so pretty handy. And then you just stick them over a 5-gallon bucket to fill them with water, like so. And the reason why you put them over a 5-gallon bucket is just so they stand up and don't flop all over when you're filling them up. And then you get water all over yourself or all over your deck or patio. So this one actually needs just a little bit more filling. So we've got my hose here set on the jet setting. I'm going to turn it on kind of lightly so you don't get yourself wet, get everybody else wet around you. And just go around and completely, almost completely, a few inches from the top, fill the little reservoirs here with water, like so. It's actually pretty handy. And a good investment to get some peppers out and tomatoes out early. You can even use them on cucumbers, really any warm weather vegetable that you'd like to get out a little bit earlier. We've got all the Walla waters filled. Now it's time to put them over our plants. However, that is a 2-person job. So camera guy, you want to hand the camera to Dana, our friend Dana, and come out and help me out here. Maybe Matt can help us too.
Yeah, Matt's gonna
So basically what you do here is, Jerry, if you could please hold on to the red part of the Walla waters. I'm going to pull the bucket out very carefully because if you're not careful with this, the whole wall of waters can collapse. And there goes our water.
Okay,
and then we're going to gently put that over the plant while I hold the tomato plant out of the way. It's going to go right in the middle here. It's a little bit tricky to get it over the plant, but we got it. We don't want to damage it. Okay, we're going to put it right over the center. And beware, you might get a little bit wet in the process, but it's better than having dead tomatoes, right? What I like to do then at this point is put a couple of stakes in to kind of give a little bit of extra support here. Because if it gets windy, it is going to collapse and damage the plant. So we're going to put a couple of wooden stakes in.
Close to the red then?
Yeah, kind of on either side of the tomato plant. Not too close to the red.
Oh, I see.
Because here's what we're going to do next. We're going to kind of fold the wall of waters in because it provides a little shield over the top. for the plant. And you might have to kind of move the bottom of it out a little so the inside folds in a little bit better. Kind of like a cone shape. Ideally, that's what you want. These aren't folding in too well, but you get the idea. My plants are not going to be super happy on 30-degree nights, but this will provide them tons of protection and keep them alive. So let me just show you the ones right over here that we installed when Cliff was here. What happens is the water kind of warms up in the sun. You can actually stick your hand down in here and feel that it's quite a bit warmer on the inside to keep the tomatoes nice and warm than it is as you bring your hand out. So it's a really effective way to protect your vegetables on cold nights. All right, nice job on that one, Jerry.
Yep.
We got 2 more to go. And the peppers, lift out the bucket, carefully move it over so you don't get all wet. And we got to come to this side now. And peppers are especially susceptible to cold nights. A lot of times if you put them out a little early, they just kind of sit here and don't really do a whole lot until the weather warms up. But I'm really hoping these will do the trick and we'll have peppers to harvest earlier. Now I've heard there's some possibilities that we might even get some snow. We're at about 800 feet above sea level. The snow level is supposed to be down to 1,000 feet. So we could get flurries, and definitely some flurries in the hills near us. This is going to be quite an adventure.
Yeah, we've got the camera ready.
We got the camera ready just in case it snows, and we'll keep you posted. Okay, we got one more to install there. Perfect.
Nice.
Take it up.
This is the oddest contraption, but it really is warmer when you put your hands inside there.
I have to say I'm kind of hooked.
I can tell.
I think we're all set with our pepper protection. Either use a nice heavy blanket, a piece of thick plastic, or if you can get these in time before the Southern California storm, get some of these. I'll grab the Amazon link and put it down below. Whatever you do, guys, stay safe, stay warm, and definitely keep us posted down below on how your garden is faring the storm. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.